Okay, everybody, welcome to Shift is Happening. I am happy to be here with you, but my energy is a little bit heavy today because partially because I'm aware of what I'm going to talk about, and partially because this is the hardest thing I do. Being on camera, talking about things that are so deeply important to me, it's hard. Let me just say that when I'm working with a client, I know exactly where they are, and I have a context for what level they're needing to move to. When I'm doing this, I don't know who all is here and what levels they're on and what I'm supposed to speak to. And it's always difficult for me to show up and find that what I really want to talk about, hoping that it can reach you. But I think that today's topic really will. I know there are lots of you who feel what I'm going to talk about today. And what I'm talking about today is the sacred ache. The sacred ache. So if the word ache resonates with you, just tune in and listen, because I'm probably speaking to something that you've felt and have not been able to find a lot of people to talk to it about or talk about it to. And that can feel very lonely. So the sacred ache is something that's been inside of me my whole life. It's still with me right now, and it aches when I think of talking about it to you. It is a feeling of homesickness. It's a feeling that no matter how good your life gets, this world, the way that things are is just not right. It's just not home. You feel that you know something is better and you don't even know why you feel that. This is just, it could bring tears to my eyes. I'm going to try to avoid that. It's hard to carry it. It is hard to carry this ache for a whole lifetime. And if you have it, I want you to know that I know it. And I want you to know that it's a gift. It is a very difficult thing to carry, and it is a gift. How do I know it's a gift? I'm going to talk about that later in this episode. I promise you it's a gift. I promise you it has a reward for carrying it that is far more beautiful than the ache and the longing that hurts. It's just as the gift is equally beautiful as the agony of the ache that you're carrying. That's what I want to talk about. So I'm going to go a little bit in my own story of this ache. Some people feel it first when they're very little. They feel it from a very young age. And some people don't find out that they have it until a little bit later. I had it very young, but I didn't really realize it until later. And I'll explain that. When I was born, I apparently, according to my mom and my grandma, cried incessantly for almost the first year of life. And, after that first year, and when I got some ability to move my body and have some control over my body, it dissipated, and I became, overall a pretty happy child. But when they told me that I cried for the first year of life, it made so much sense to me. When we're first born, we are entering this world from the spirit world. We take on a body, and then we're born into this world. Before we leave the womb, we are warm, at peace, comfortable, cared for, held. And then we enter this world. We're not held anymore. We're in the cold air. We're experiencing all of this. We're further away from spirit and from God when we're born here. And so when I heard that, it made a lot of sense to me. But the feeling is that I know something is better than this. It's like part of me came into this life and remembered something from before here that was so much more luminous, so much more beautiful and peaceful and safe and warm and loving, and that even when life is the best it can be here, there's still something I long for. There's still something missing. And I know I've spoken in my earlier episodes that life is an upward spiral. It still is. The reason I feel heavy today is because I'm tuning into the energy of this longing for all of those of you that are feeling it, that have it. I feel your pain of it, because one of the things that mine came with is the desire for nobody to continue to have this. I've needed to seek answers to my longing, but as I've received those answers, the longing became larger, so large that I want everyone who has this to reach the point where they know why they have it and to receive the relief of it. So the longing, although it gets relief, the longing grows for everyone everywhere who has it. And my mission grows to wonder, how can I reach them? So you're feeling that from me today because I'm tuning into it. It's not that I feel this heaviness all the time. In fact, I feel ecstatic a lot of the time because of the gift of this. But right now I'm tuning into it for you, with you, and it could just it could bring me to my knees to feel for everyone who has this. So this homesickness. Homesick is the right word. How can we be homesick for something we don't even know for sure exists? I don't know, but we are. I can only conclude that something in us who have this ache remembers. Most souls who come to this earth forget everything they left behind, and we carried some kind of remembrance. If you have that ache, that's a really good theory as to what it is. That you have something in you that remembers something more beautiful than this. If you have this, it is a gift and it hurts. It is equally beautiful as it is painful. So how do I know that? I'll explain that later, but I want you to just tune in to, if you have this ache, it is not something to be avoided. This world teaches us, it pours on the layers of, we are supposed to appear that all is well at all times. We're supposed to appear that everything is great and that we're, successful and that things are working for us. And so it's very lonely when you carry this ache and you can't share it. And even if you do share it, not that many people have it. Or if they do, it's been buried in layers and they don't want to look at it. So they don't want to talk about it. So when you start talking about it, they'll jump to something more shallow and you will feel empty again. For me, in an earlier time, it felt like I can't stand it here. And there was that time for, a few years where I would wake up and dream of dying. I would dream of hanging from a tree, and it would feel like relief. I was not suicidal. I had a good life. I still have a wonderful marriage. I have beautiful children. I have everything anyone could ever want other than massive riches. I have all my needs are met. I have true love. I had all those things that people think are going to fulfill it. And it fulfilled a lot, but it did not fulfill it. So if you are carrying this ache, it's not that pursuing love isn't a right thing to do. Of course it is. And it helps. If you long to have children, have them. It helps. But if it doesn't go away, there's nothing wrong with you. What it's asking you to do is find out what it's about, to accept it and go into it and not avoid it. There's one thing that all of this seeking has taught me, that when we accept what we are inside, accept it, allow it, look at it, and try to just go straight into it, that will take you on an upward spiral of more and more relief and beauty and wonder and flow and things really working out for you. If we do the opposite, if we avoid, distract ourselves, or deny what we are, including this ache, our life will get worse. Literally, on the outside, it will get worse. This is because life is trying to take us exactly where we came here to go. If we deny how we feel and what we are, we're going away from what we came here to do. So life has to wake us up, has to make us look. So it'll automatically have something bad happen. It's happening. It's a complex process. It happens because of the belief we're operating from that we don't realize is subconsciously playing out in our behavior in our world, which is creating love that doesn't work, which was creating work that doesn't match up our needs and our passions. It's creating all of this because we haven't looked at it inside, but it will feel like, oh great, now I just got reprimanded at work. Oh great, now my wife's mad at me. Oh great, something else bad is happening. But it's happening because of our subconscious denial and living in a false belief. This is a loving universe that does that. If you think about the implications of it, the implications of what I've just said are that when we tune into what we deeply, truly, honestly feel, our life gets better. If we don't and we deny it and avoid it, our life gets worse. The implications of that are that we are made the way we are supposed to be. I was supposed to have this longing, and I know that now because I have received the gift of the longing. It is a gift. I will get there. So what first began to turn it into a gift is allowing it to break my heart open. Break my heart open and handle it. Allow it to make me weep. Allow it to bring me to my knees. Allow it to pour tears out of my eyes and say, I need something I cannot find by myself. It is a sacred longing for the divine. That's what it is. And I have no idea what any of your religious backgrounds, upbringings, dogmas, belief systems are. I'm talking to, so just let those just sit there for a second, because we all come from different trainings in that area. Let's let those set aside and just listen to the intuitive feeling of what I'm saying. All human beings at some point long for the divine. Some people go their whole life not thinking about it, but on their deathbed, trust me, they want to know, did they do life right in God's eyes? So if you have this sacred longing, it is a longing for something more beautiful than exists on this earth, and that is only the divine. For me, it came in a form of, I can't stand it here. I had a very spiritual path. I needed to know answers to how do you even stand it here? So for me, it was a journey of reading everything that I could about that from an array of spiritual guides and teachers. And I just absorbed that material until it started to create a pattern, and I could apply that in life and find out I'm seeing a pattern. There's an intelligence here. And then in my practice, working with people from 9 to 6 almost every single day, and then sometimes Saturdays and Sunday appointments, I could see a pattern with what was going on. So my seeking was my way and yours is your way. But the thing that we have in common, if we're all here listening to this, is the sacred ache. We have to know that there's more than this. So my encouragement to you is to honor that you have this if you have it. It's hard, but it's beautiful. It will take you to the answer that you're seeking. If you allow it to be there, if you don't try to run away from it, try to deny it, what we need to do is find each other, find people who have the sacred ache to be able to talk about it. It's a thing. If you have it, there's a book that was just recommended to me called Letters to a Starseed. Letter to a Starseed. That talks about the sacred ache, and that if you have it, there's a very, very good reason. It's also probably no mistake that you have it right now in this day and age, because the systems of this world are no longer functioning and working to serve well, and they must fall apart. And so I'm not going to go into that in this episode, but the timing of your ache is likely perfect. And I just want to encourage you to go into it, allow it, open up to it, and it will take you to your knees. It will, if you allow it, make you cry, sometimes like a baby in agony for what you long for. What happens after you go through that tunnel of vulnerability, though, is you get the light at the end of that tunnel, which is something showing you that it's not for nothing. This is what I call peekaboo with God. So let me go into the reward of this now, that if you go into this feeling and allow it, it's just a tunnel. It is a tunnel of discomfort that when you allow the longing, the agony of it, and you wail or cry or whatever it makes you do, if it leads you to beg for what you know you can't do by yourself, that's why it's there. Because we are not supposed to do this alone. Who could? Who could handle life on earth without divine help? Nobody can, is the truth. Nobody can. But many people try to. When they try to, it takes them to their knees at some point. It might not be until their deathbed. But your sacred ache is taking you there sooner. Why might it be doing that? Because we all need to, and because people who have the sacred ache become aware of the path they're on that's leading them to what they deeply desire. It will lead you there if you go through the tunnel of agony, of pain, of longing. And I can promise you that because I've been doing this for 30 years. What I can tell you about it is that it speeds up. I want to talk about frequency for a second. I always thought frequency was like a vibration that you're living on. And I think there's truth to that too. You know, you wake up some days and you're just, oh, wow, I'm feeling a low vibe today. Like, it just doesn't feel great. And through the path of being a seeker, I found that if you're in a low level frequency, the best thing you can do is just find a way to get to a high level frequency, because on a low level frequency, everything looks terrible, especially if you have the sacred ache. Like, oh, great, I woke up and I have 10,000 tasks just because I was born that if I don't do them, life will fall apart. It just looks terrible there. But it's a frequency that if you raise your energy, go get some exercise, take a cold shower, listen to inspiring music, suddenly it won't look like that anymore. It's not even true. It just feels true on that level of frequency, but it's not true. So now I'll say to myself, if I'm on a low level frequency, I'll say, anything that's going to come out of my mouth isn't true. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go take a cold shower. I'm going to go listen to my music. And then suddenly the whole world shifts and you're like, oh, yay, great. One thing at a time, and I love my life. It all shifts in front of your eyes. But what I found from having this ache and following it for 30 years is it has taken me on a journey of playing peekaboo with God. Alan Watts coined that phrase. I've used it before in other podcast episodes. It is true. We are playing a beautiful, stunning, perfect game that we set up. We hid the light of ourselves from ourselves so that in this life or over lifetimes, we could find glimpses of it and then giggle when we find it. This life is a beautiful, stunning game of peekaboo with God. And if you have the ache, it is leading you to have that experience. And then when you have it once, a synchronicity, a glimpse, an undeniable experience that was speaking to you, follow that, believe it, love it, celebrate it, and you'll get the tingle, the truth tingle. I just got it talking about it. That tingle in your body is resonance with the divine saying, yes, that's what we're doing. That's exactly what happened. And your brain will not be able to handle it. And it'll try to make all this, sense of it. Don't let your brain tear it down. It's true. Now, back to frequency. What I have found on this game of peekaboo with God, because of the sacred longing, is by following it, it's accelerating, and it's not stopped accelerating. It's accelerated now to a point where I have had experiences that I will not share today, but at some point I will, that are unbelievably, stunningly, undeniably gorgeous. So when you get those synchronicities, say yes, say thank you, feel the tingle, and know you are on it. You are playing this beautiful game. The longing will come back. Life will feel like it's terrible again. And just remember, it's okay. You're just in between the peekaboo moments. Now, I really love this peekaboo analogy because of why parents play peekaboo with their children. We play peekaboo with our children to teach them our permanence. That when we go around the corner and we're out of their sight, we come back and say, peekaboo, I didn't go away. I was just around the corner. I never go away. This could make me cry. This is what God is doing with us. Those of you that have the sacred ache, you are here early to wake up to it so that you can help, like me, build the bridge between dimensions and show other people the way to this, because this is what humanity is awakening to and needs to awaken to. We're the ones who know something better exists than the way things are now. If you have the sacred ache, that ache is a knowingness, a remembrance that will guide you to an entirely better existence that all of humanity needs. It is a gift. It is a gift, it's a privilege, and it's also a hard journey, but it is worth it. So, frequency. I've not finished this point. What I have found is frequency isn't just I'm on a low level or a higher level. When you embrace the sacred ache as what it is, and you enter the journey of playing peekaboo with God, when you get one of those moments, it can be harder to just enter the part of life when God's not there right then. It's, of course, always there, but when you can't feel it or see it or experience it in the same way, it's like, oh, back to reality. But the frequency increases the more you stay true to you, the more you follow the longing, the more you seek answers, the more you read books that speak to it so that it feeds it in you, grows it inside of you. As this is happening, what's essentially happening is your soul is taking over your body. You are becoming purely your soul, run by your soul, identified by your soul, guided by your soul. And the frequency at which God plays peekaboo increases. It quickens. Frequency, it happens more frequently. When that starts to happen, you will be amazed, and it does happen. The frequency increases with your peekaboo moments to the point which you cannot deny it anymore. The longing goes away slowly, transmuting into undeniability. That is when you feel home again. When you no longer don't know, and you finally do know that it would be absurd to deny what's happened. It is so beautiful to arrive there, that it's worth every bit of the ache and the agony. At some point, I'll tell that story about how when it really started rapidly increasing, and then it became absolutely undeniable to me. That changed and relieved the ache for me now to where I don't have to hurry. I don't have to strive. I don't have to feel the way I used to feel. I used to feel like I'm a warrior to make love rule this earth. I'm a warrior to make love be enough on this earth. And I would have done anything for it, and then more, and then more, and then more. But because I let that lead me, it brought me here. But I don't want to make this about me. So wherever you are with this ache that you have, I want you to know that I get it, that I know it, that I've felt it my whole life. I know how much it hurts. And I know what it feels like to carry it, and you are not alone. If you want guidance with this ache, I am now at the point where I can offer that guidance. I've gone far enough with it to know where it goes and to be a hand holding you in the darkness, because there is darkness. And what it is a series of tunnels. It is a series of tunnels. Authenticity, vulnerability tunnels. I've been using that term for a long time. Once you know how to go through one, it's the same thing over and over again. The beauty of that is it's simple, just not easy. So the very first moment that you admit something shameful that you've been afraid to look at inside of yourself and admit to yourself or anyone else, that's a tunnel of vulnerability where you do not know if you will be loved and accepted because of that. And you finally just go, you take the risk to find out, will I be loved if I reveal this? If you have ever done that, then you're already on your way. You've already done what it takes. You just will keep doing that whenever it arises, because what you're doing is deciding to accept every part of yourself. And when you do that, it heals you, changes you, purifies you into your soul. Your soul takes over your body little by little, tunnel by tunnel. It changes darkness to light by letting it be seen, brought out, put out on the table. You bring it to the light, and the light purifies it. So if you've ever done that, you've already done everything you need to do on this journey. That's it. You've already started, and you're just going to keep doing that. Anytime you feel a feeling that is difficult to feel or something that's hard to share that's true, you're going to do that again. The big trick, and Michael Singer talks about this, is to keep your heart open through the discomfort. Keep your heart open through the discomfort. Don't let it close. Love stays open. And if you want love on this planet, guess what? You are one of the people that is bringing it here by opening your heart in the midst of discomfort. And I've got to give you some tools to help you do that, because that is the journey. It's vulnerability tunnel after vulnerability tunnel after vulnerability tunnel. The beautiful thing is every time you do it, your life becomes more beautiful. Your relationships become more true. You feel more connected to the people who you're willing to show yourself to. And you may feel that way, you can be that way everywhere you go, but many people will not be able to handle it. So they won't stay, but you will have some that will, and that will be enough. They will become more true, more connected, more loving, more beautiful. Your work will become more aligned with your purpose. While you're doing this, your life will get more beautiful. So there's always a reward. But it's uncomfortable as hell, and I'm not going to lie. So I came up with what serves to go through these tunnels when we feel it. Because when we feel it, it is scary. It's scary because the longing is so strong. We want it so much that if we feel it even come, see, I'm going to cry. When we feel it come closer, the longing increases. Because as it comes closer, we want it so much to be true that we can hardly stand it. So then we have to go through that tunnel again. But it's not coming closer just to tease us and take it away. It's not. For those of us who've had trauma, it'll feel like it might again, but it doesn't. It does not do that. So here are the tools. If you've already gone through a vulnerability tunnel, you already know how to do it. You're just going to get better at it. You're just going to practice it every time. If you haven't yet, you might need a teacher, a guide, a comfort place to help you do it. Somebody who knows the ache and can hold space for you as you face your ache. If you can't do that alone, don't. But breathe. When it's happening, you must breathe. That breath is sacred. It helps us handle it. And it's the bridge between our soul and our small self, our high self and our small self. It helps to bridge it. So breathe. That also helps you keep your heart open to the transmutation that is happening inside of you, that is scary and uncomfortable. Breathe. Second, open, open, open. Do not let that heart close. Keep it open as it makes you wail, cry, long, ache, scream. It's temporary, but keep your heart open while it's happening, while you're going through the tunnel. Do not close your heart. Do not protect yourself. This is your transmutation that will bring what you're longing for to you and to this planet. Be present. Breathe, open, stay present. In the present moment, you know you're not going to die. Just be where you are. Don't think so much about what the future of it is. Just stay present. Look at your environment. Be in your environment. The present stillness is the holy moment. Just stay there. Remember, you're playing Peekaboo with God, and the tunnels are the dark part, and the Peekaboo moments are on the other side. They're coming. There's one other thing about Peekaboo. You may feel it coming closer, and then the longing increases and the ache increases. But what you will not get is, you will not get the Peekaboo moment when you expect to. It wouldn't be Peekaboo. God must surprise you. It's happened long enough and more frequently enough that it's happened so many times to me now that I know this without a doubt. It happens when you're not expecting it. It loves to delight you. It's a game. It loves to reward you and surprise you and amaze you and delight you. And the only way it can do that is when you're not expecting it. So you may go through this tunnel and then be so exhausted and drained that you can't do anything but sleep or rest. Then you just get back into your day, get back into the rhythm of life, be present, and it will, when you are not expecting it, show you that that tunnel was worth it. It will. But you won't know when, and if you start to look for it, it's going to prolong it because it has to surprise you and delight you and amaze you. Why does it do that? Because what you're longing for is for it to know better than you, for it to be more aware of the whole thing than you. You want to rest in its wisdom. You want to rest in its arms. You want it to know more than you and to hold you in its wisdom. So it has to prove to you that it knows better than you. That's how it works. So if you're looking for it, oh my gosh, I can feel it coming. What's going to happen? Stay present. Stay present. Live your life, one foot in front of the other. Do what is obvious to do, undeniable for you to do in your life. What needs to be done? What is the next logical step to take in my life? Just chop wood, carry water, take one step, live your life. And one moment when you get back into regular life that you sometimes feel like you can't stand, boom, there it is. And you go, oh my God, that tunnel was worth it. It did something. Oh my God. It'll knock your socks off and take your breath away. And then once it does, the hard part is it doesn't stay, but over time, it becomes undeniable what's happening. So is it hard to go from the Peekaboo moment back to life? And the more awe-inspiring the Peekaboo moment becomes, the harder the transition to just get up and do the things. But it also gets easier because you know what's happening. That thing that you are longing for, if you have that ache, I am here to tell you, I've had it for I became really aware of it 30 years ago. But when I became aware of that I had it, I knew it was there for my whole life. But I call it a 30-year journey of needing to know about this, needing to know how to make life good here. I promise you that ache is something beautiful and worth it. It doesn't make it easy. I want you to know that I am on that journey with you. And I would not tell you these things did I not unequivocally, unabashedly, absolutely know that it's true. Because I know how scared you might be that it's not. Because I was terrified. I was in agony. The closer it came, the more I was in agony. But it was just another tunnel. It was just another tunnel. And I'd gone through so many tunnels that I just knew it was another tunnel. So I just said, open, stay open, breathe, stay present. And then next Peekaboo moment came, and it was increasingly amazing to the point of absolute undeniability. That's where you're going, and you are not alone. And there's nothing wrong with that ache. And if you feel alone in your life, then you are not alone, because you know that every word I'm saying is resonant, or many of the words I'm saying are resonating with you. Listen to that resonance. Feel the tingle in your body. That's a truth tingle. That's not a coincidence. That is saying to you, oh my gosh, this is me. Yes, someone finally gets it. Oh my gosh, thank God. This is hard as hell. I hope you're right. And I know that you might not believe I'm right, but you don't have to do this alone. You can reach out to me for support. You can say, what comes next? I needed my teachers to help me find what is ahead of me. I need to know. I can't stand it if I don't know that it's going somewhere good. We all need that. We have one hand up and one hand down, reaching up for someone who knows more than we do on this, and reaching back for someone who's just behind us, who needs to know where it goes. We're all doing that. We are all doing that. So if I'm the hand reaching back for you, here it is. Take it. I will support you. I don't know where this journey is leading me, but I know that I have people that need this leadership. And I'll step up if that opportunity arises, because I know what it's like. And I know that I needed my teachers. So reach out. If you're like, what you've said is true and I need someone to help me along the journey, we'll build a bridge. We'll find a way. We are building a bridge. That's what we're doing. We're building a bridge to a new dimension that is bringing the divine here, because we can't stand it anymore. We got too far separated from our source, and it hurt very badly. And this time, when we remember, we're not going to separate that far ever again. It was too hard. It hurt too much. It was too painful. And you and I and the people who have this ache will not let it happen that way again. You know why? Because we are committed. We all have our own little versions of it, our own sacred kind of ache that all have their nuances. Mine is this: I must become pure love, because I cannot live in a world that doesn't operate from it anymore. And that's just my little version. You have yours. And yours is another note in the symphony that we need. We need your nuance of this. Mine is that. Mine is, I will become pure love so that I may live in a world that comes from the awareness that the outside reflects what we are. So anything inside of me that I have not accepted and given love to, I need to, because I have to become pure love to have a world built on love. For me, I need to live in a world where love is enough. You have your version of that. Something you can't stand. Whatever you can't stand is right and beautiful. And you'll find your way to it if you've listened to what I've said and listen to what's resonated, listen to what gave you that tingle of truth, and follow that. It's a little different than mine, but if this resonated, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And maybe I am a helper on your path. I don't know, but I'm willing to be if you need that. if you have questions about this, if you have this ache and you're like, oh my gosh, someone finally talks about it, send me a message. I was the one who never had anyone talk about it and had to just do it all myself, try to find people too. I know that feeling, and you need others. Many of you probably need others who can speak this language, because it feels very lonely to walk around in a world where nobody talks about it. Reach out, and I will reply to every message I get. If I have to take a week off, I'll do it. Send me a message. I'll answer every question. I will reply to every message. If you have this ache, then we're on some kind of team. We are on some kind of team together, and we'll figure out what that looks like. All right. I hope this touched you. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, and you have others who have the ache, share it, because they can't stand it either. They need to know that you feel it. And it's a vulnerability tunnel to admit that you do. And that might be the first one that you next go through. It always provides a gift on the other side. So do it. I love you. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.